In 2023, lenders are playing the game on hard mode. Higher costs of capital, increased delinquencies, and the ever-present threat of fraud. Plus, your borrower's expectations for a high-quality digital customer experience are higher than ever. The best lenders need to navigate all these concerns to ensure they have an underwriting process that delivers strong risk management while maintaining a top-notch customer experience. Hundreds of lenders are doing this today with Ocrolus. I'm David Stinkhoff, and I lead the growth team at Ocrolus, an AI-driven document automation platform powering the digital lending ecosystem.
And I'm Julia Freeman, Senior Account Executive at Ocrolus.
And today we'd like to show you the workflow used by what we like to call the best small business lender ever. We'll talk about how the best, most technically sophisticated, smartest, most forward-thinking lenders will use the full suite of Ocrolus capabilities to lend and scale with confidence. And we'll do it in about 6 minutes, so let's get started. So because this is the best lender ever, they, of course, want to understand their small business applicants' cash flow characteristics, so they ask for bank data. In their Ocrolus dashboard, they can configure a widget using our low-code, no-code tools. They can even apply their own branding guidelines, and then they can embed it in their own application website. When they do this, this gives borrowers the ability to either upload bank statements or connect digitally through our Plaid integration. So let's upload some bank statements here. So when we go to the Ocrolus dashboard, we can see the lender's view of this borrower. Every one of these statements got processed instantly. In fact, the vast majority of documents processed by Ocrolus come back in just a couple seconds. We're able to do this because we've built the industry's largest data set of verified document data, and we've used it to train some incredibly accurate AI for document processing. Now, you probably see some red over here in the corner. Fraud is an unfortunate reality of lending, but luckily Detect from Ocrolus scans every document for signs of malicious tampering. We do this by digging deep into the guts of the document to understand and see edits that would not be visible to the naked eye. Now, our automated severity score judged this as a low risk, so the lender would probably just move on. But if it were a higher risk, they'd go into the dashboard and they'd see an example that looks something like this, where they could see every single field, and a fraud analyst would actually be able to go through and understand every signal in detail. So now let's go back to our other example. If we want to understand the cash flow characteristics of this borrower, we'll go over to the account summary. This shows every single bank account, summary statistics, balances over time with all different levels of granularity, daily, weekly, monthly. It shows revenue versus expense, and it allows you to see the time series seasonality of different transaction types over time. So here we show debits and credits by default, but what if we wanted to search and choose ATM transactions, fintech transactions, merchant service deposits? We could visualize these all here, add our desired level of granularity, and we could even export this data set to CSV or save the image itself. Now, all this is powered by deep transaction intelligence. For every transaction that we process, Ocrolus assigns tags to understand whether this is revenue, an expense, non-sufficient funds transaction, proceeds from a lender, payments to a lender, tax, insurance, and about 50 other transaction tags designed to really understand the unique financial dynamics of a small business. And we make it all completely interactive and transparent in this interface. We can edit the tags live, we can search by tag, and we can also even link every single transaction to where it appeared in its source document. Now, of course, most lender interaction with Ocrolus is through our API, where they can get all these analytics and data in a real-time programmatic fashion. So let's open up a terminal. Now, for all you developers out there, I know what you're thinking. Am I really going to ask a salesperson to write terminal commands live on stage? Well, yes, I am. Julia's ready at the keyboard. So let's say our best lender ever wants to understand existing loan obligations from borrowers. So we're going to hit our cash flow summary API endpoint and zoom in on the loan section. And what we can see is that this borrower has an outstanding loan with OnDeck. They got $30,000 from OnDeck, and they've made 2 monthly payments with a monthly frequency. So what we know now is they owe about $2,700 to OnDeck every month for the next 12 months, and that's really important information if you're considering that borrower's ability to take on and service a new loan. Next, this lender wants to understand cash flow features, cash flow attributes, and correlate them with loan outcomes. So we'll hit our cash flow features API, And this gives us access to a feed of over 500 cash flow credit attributes that are custom designed for use in cash flow underwriting. So just like you can go to a credit bureau and get a feed of bureau attributes, things like inquiries, delinquencies, utilization, DROGs, and more, you can go to Ocrolus to get a feed of cash flow credit attributes designed for cash flow underwriting. Now, because this is the best lender ever, they've worked with Ocrolus to fine-tune the Ocrolus cash flow-based probability of default model specifically to their portfolio. And lenders that we've seen do this are able to achieve such a predictive model, they end up putting bank data ahead of underwriting in their acquisition funnel. So Julia hit this API, and we see a probability of default, as well as some of the features that most contributed to the score being what it was. So if you're the best lender ever, you probably take all this data and you use it to make a fully programmatic and automated lending decision. But of course, there's always exceptions. So if an underwriter needs to go back into the dashboard, they could do that. They could see all the analytics, all the data, all the source documents. So what does the best lender ever do with Ocrolus? They use our low-code widget to get document and digital bank data. They use Detect to identify fraud before it happens. They use enriched transactions and cash flow attributes to make sure they understand every borrower. And they use our cash flow attributes to custom build a risk score that's even more predictive than credit data. And they use Ocrolus to make sure that they can make high-quality decisions with trusted data and unparalleled efficiency. Ocrolus serves over 400 lenders across small business, consumer, mortgage, and more. And whether you're already the best lender ever or just at the beginning of your automation and digital lending journey, we want to help you scale and lend with confidence.